Once again, good day to everyone. This is Shaina Indalos, and as a continuation of Miss Yano and Miss Andres' discussion, I assigned to discuss about the characteristic of modern educational assessment and the needs and purpose of evaluation. What is modern educational assessment? Modern educational assessment is a comprehensive learner-centered approach to evaluating students' knowledge, skills, values, and overall learning progress using varied, authentic, continuous, and competency-based methods. It goes beyond traditional paper and pencil tests by using performance tasks, real-life applications, technology-enhanced tools, multiple assessment evidence, and ongoing feedback. The main goal of modern educational assessment is to improve learning, not just measure it. The modern assessment focuses on mastery of competencies, real-world performance, student growth, continuous feedback, fairness and inclusivity, and meaningful use of data to enhance teaching and learning. First characteristic of modern educational assessment is the continuous and ongoing assessment. Assessment happens before, during, and after instruction, not only at the end. Teachers constantly gather evidence of learning through assignments, observations, interviews, checklists, performance tasks, quizzes, and discussion. This continuous process ensures that the teacher always knows where the student is in the learning journey, and it also helps identify learning gaps early for making intervention faster and more effective. Number two is the authentic and performance-based. Students demonstrate learning through real-life tasks instead of solely paper and pencil tests. Performance tasks require the application of knowledge, not just recall. For instance, creating a business plans in the entrepreneurship, conducting experiments in science, creating position papers for social studies, solving real-world math problems, and this assessment or this authentic task help develop critical thinking, creativity, and the 21st century skills. The third one is the learner-centered. We all know that our students is diverse. That's why modern assessment respect learner diversity, differences in background, ability, learning pace, and learning style. Students are involved in the assessment process through self-assessment and peer evaluation. The focus is on individual growth and improvement, not on comparing learners with one another. The fourth one is the competency base and the standards base. Assessing mastery of learning outcomes instead of the quantity of memorized content. Students must demonstrate they can apply what they learn. Teachers assess knowledge, like skills and values, as required by the DepEd of K-12 curriculum. And also the rubrics and scoring guides are part or aligned with the competencies. The fifth one is the integrative and holistic. Assessment covers the three learning domain. First is the cognitive that focuses on knowledge and thinking skill. The second one is the psychomotor, focuses on skills, performance, and physical tasks, while the affective is focuses on values, attitudes, and behaviors. Using multiple tools to capture full learner performance that provides a complete picture of the student rather than a narrow view focuses only on a test. The sixth one is the criterion reference. Students are measured against standards, not against each other. The goal is the mastery, not ranking. It allows fairer assessment because each student is judged based on how well they achieve the learning outcomes. And the seventh one is the flexible, varied, and multimodal. Teachers choose appropriate tools depending on the competency. It includes rubrics, portfolios, performances, conferences, journals, anecdotal records, digital assessments, and so on. It combines a written, oral, practical, and digital formats. This flexibility helps assess the diverse learners more effectively. The ninth one is the technology enhanced. It uses digital platforms for submitting tasks, recording scores, generating feedback, and real-time quizzes. It tools like Google Classroom, LMS systems, and digital portfolios to create more efficient and engaging assessment experiences. And the last one is the feedback rich and improvement oriented. This feedback is timely, specific, constructive, and actionable. It helps students understand strengths, errors, and how to improve, and also focuses on how growth mindset and continuous improvement. Before I proceed, let's have our knowledge check. Now let's move on to the needs and purpose of evaluation. The need and purpose of evaluation refer to why the educational process must be evaluated and what evaluation is used for. When we say evaluation, it is broader than assessment. While assessment gathers evidence of learning, evaluation interprets that evidence to make informed decisions about the students, the instructions, curriculum, and the programs. Now let's discuss the need for evaluation. First is to determine the effectiveness of teaching. Evaluation verifies whether the teaching strategies, methods, and learning materials successfully help students reach the objectives. If students fail to meet standards, evaluation shows whether the problem is with the instruction, materials, or environment. The second one is to determine the effectiveness of learning. It shows how well students mastered content, skills, and values. It helps identify the degree of achievement of competencies and provides concrete data about learners' strengths and weaknesses. The third one is to diagnose learning problems. Evaluation identifies the specific areas where students struggle. This diagnostic information guides teachers in planning remediation, enrichment activities, or differentiated instruction. And the fourth one is to assist in decision making. Evaluation informs major decisions such as promotion or retention of students, appropriateness of instructional materials, curriculum revisions, planning and policy adjustment, and resource allocation. Without evaluation, educational decisions would be based on guesswork. The fifth one is to improve curriculum and instruction. Evaluation results indicate which topics need reinforcement while learning competencies are too difficult or which strategies work better. It ensures that the curriculum remains relevant, updated, and effective. The sixth one is to motivate learners. Students become aware of their progress and gain motivation to improve. Evaluation encourages them to set goals and strive for better performance. Well, then the seventh one is to provide accountability. Teachers, schools, and programs must be demonstrate that learning is happening. Evaluation provides the evidence to parents, administrators, and the government. This ensures transparency and the trust in the education system. The last one is to support stakeholders. Parents learn how their children are progressing. Administrators use results for planning and budgeting. Community and policymakers use data for school improvement. And now, let's move on to the purposes of evaluation. First is diagnostic purpose. It determines students' readiness, background knowledge, learning difficulties, and misconceptions before instruction. It helps the teacher plan appropriate strategies. The second one is the formative purpose. It's conducted during instruction to monitor learning. It also helps the teacher adjust teaching methods in real time. It provides feedback to students so they can improve before the final evaluation. And the third one is the summative purpose. It is conducted after instruction to measure overall achievement. It also determines if learning objectives were attained, and it is also used for grading, reporting, and promotion. The fourth one is the placement purpose. It is used to place students in appropriate learning groups or levels. It helps determine which learners needs remediation, enrichment, or special support. The fifth one is the guidance support. It provides information for counseling and career guidance. It helps identify interests, aptitudes, attitudes, and interpersonal skills. It also supports the development of the whole person. And the last one is the administrative purpose. School leaders use evaluation results for curriculum improvement, teacher development, budget planning, school programs and policy decisions, and ensures that the education system remains effective and efficient. In conclusion, modern educational assessment and evaluation ensure that teaching and learning are more meaningful and effective. Assessment provides continuous, authentic, and learner centered ways to measure progress, while evaluation uses these results to improve instruction, guide decisions, and support learners' needs. Together, they help create a fair, responsive, and improvement oriented educational environment. And before we end, let's have our knowledge check.